News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. I want to get right into this. First of all, a couple things. Number one, I got a few more quick jokes for that came in on Trump's speech tonight. Then we're going to shift gears and going to the incredible death of Yahya Sinwar, the head of Hamas, who was the mastermind of the October 7th attack, slaughtering 1,200 Jews. And the only thing he regrets, former General or Admiral Stavridis said today on Fox, was that on Fox News, was that the only thing he wanted to do instead of killing 1,200 Jews and taking 200 or 300 hostage and murdering many of them, is killing all 8 million Jews, everybody in Israel, because that is the only thing he wants to do. And that sick, wicked, satanic terrorist is in hell now. He is given a dirt nap, and his body is on full display on my social media feed for everybody to see. Every joke that Trump says that you hear on my show tonight, every piece of audio you hear on my show tonight is at Chris Kroc Show. That's at Chris Kroc Show on my Twitter feed. At Chris Kroc Show, ChrisKrok, at Chris Kroc Show. It's on the same handle for Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow me at all three, at Chris Kroc Show, ChrisKrok. Now, we'll play a few Al Smith, and I'll give you the how the FBI quietly, stealthily changes all of its crime numbers after telling you how great crime was for the Biden and Harris campaign and for Harris and the liberal media. And did they correct it at all? Probably not, but I can tell the FBI did, but they didn't want you to know about it. They buried it. Let's play some audio first of the Al Smith dinner, some new stuff. Here we go. This is one of them.
Tradition holds that I'm supposed to tell a few self-deprecating jokes this evening. So here it goes. Nope. I've got nothing. There's nothing to say. I guess I just don't see the point of taking shots at myself when other people have been shooting at me for a hell of a long time, and they shoot hard.
Chuck Schumer didn't laugh at that. I wonder why. I wonder why Chuck Schumer didn't laugh at that. He doesn't think it's funny because he doesn't like him getting any credit for surviving 2 assassination attempts. Or is it 3 now? It's hard to keep track anymore. What a disgrace our Secret Service is, and what a disgrace Kamala Harris is for not showing up to the Al Smith dinner tonight. And I think it's another error of this woman and her campaign. It was a very stupid error. And you know how badly she is doing right now overall. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's bad. And you know how the last person to ditch this dinner was Walter Mondale, who won 1 state, not 49. He lost 49 states, and he won 1. Way to go, Walter. You kept your home state, your liberal Minnesota home state. Kamala is really on a path to failure, and this ditching of this tonight was a big mistake in my humble. Now, the FBI quietly revises crime stats. This is great. Just like the jobs numbers, the Biden administration has a new habit. The jobs numbers are terrible, but they tell you they're great until you find out 6 months to a year later, or the month or 2 later, it gets buried. And as my buddy Eric Erickson writes today, as every journalist reading his column today knows, the corrections always get less coverage than the original headline. So for the journalists, are you being played or are you playing along? He asks, does the American Press Corps care about the revised crime stats? Guess how bad it is. We were told by the FBI, by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's FBI, rigged FBI, that crime fell by 2.1% in the 2022 numbers. They come out a year later. From 2022 to 2023, they supposedly fell by 2.1%. And it was a huge talking point. Remember David Muir from ABC News in the debate, fact-checking Trump when he said he wasn't going to fact-check? He's wrong. Trump was right. It wasn't. Crime has not gone down. Violent crime has not gone down by 2.1% as the Biden administration reported. It has soared compared to that. It is 6.6% higher than they reported. I repeat, violent crime is 6.6% higher than they reported. Violent crime did not go down 2.1%. It shot up 4.5%. I repeat, it did not go down 2.1%. It is 6.6% higher. Violent crime is up by 4.5% in the Biden-Harris administration, 2022 to 2023. The numbers are astounding. They quietly released this, by the way. They did not tell anybody. They didn't have a press conference. My buddy writes, it sure seems that the original data reporting was a mistake. The quiet revision, however, the quiet FBI revision was intentional. It depends largely on required census surveys of business owners for jobs and corporations. He's talking about the jobs numbers, how that's been adjusted dramatically. Remember, almost 1 million jobs didn't happen the previous year, and we just found out about a month or two ago. Almost 1 million jobs never happened. Never happened. It was a lie. We've also found out that almost all the jobs have gone to Joe and Kamala's illegals, not to Americans. It depends legally on the jobs numbers on legally required census surveys of business owners for jobs and cooperation by local governments on crime statistics. And the big cities don't report it. New York doesn't report it. Chicago, L.A., they do not report it. I believe D.C. too, to the FBI. Every single month, the economic data is reported as brilliant, only to be revised, my friend writes, the next month. And now the same pattern exists with crime data. Here's some of the highlights. Look at this. Actual crime changes are extensive, reports Real Clear Investigations. The updated report for 2022 to 2023 shows there were 80,000 more violent crimes in 2021, and there were additional 1,700 murders, 8,000 rapes, 33,000 robberies, and 37,000 aggravated assaults. I repeat, 80,000 more violent crimes, 1,700 more murders separately, 7,800 rapes, 3,300 more robberies, and 33,000 robberies, and 8,000 rapes, and 37,000 aggravated assaults, and 1,700 murders more than were reported. It went way up. 6.6% higher than I told you. So without any increase, the drop in violent crime would have been less than a half of that. It would have only been 1.6% instead of the reported drop of 3.5% in 2023, but instead it has gone up. So there you go, guys. It's a lie. They buried it, and Joe and Kamala are lying. They were lying, and David Muir was a liar and should be fact-checked. They are all liars. And the truth came out today. Crime did go up. Last point on this. FBI quietly revised the numbers, releasing new data that shows violent crime increased in 2022 by 4.5%. The Bureau made no mention of these revisions in its September 2024 press release. No mention of the revisions when they did it. No mentions of their revision in their press release. And they call it the final crime data that they released showing it was down, and that's a lie. That was the main Democrat Party talking point. You will never hear them say it again. They're liars, they're liars, they're liars, and the media lies for them. It's disgusting, and you and I pay the price. Everybody that says, you and I, when we say there's more crime out there, we're told it's a lie from the Democrats, the mainstream media. They're the liars. They don't experience this because they're in their leftist, wealthy bubble, and they don't experience this stuff. They got people that drive them. They got security guards that protect them. We don't have that. We pay the price with their illegal invasion. It disgusts me, and it disgusts most Americans. All right, coming up next, an incredible milestone. You're going to hear the jubilance of Israelis tonight as they celebrate the mastermind of the terror attack on their country, the biggest slaughter of Jews and the biggest attack on Jews since the Holocaust. They're right. You're going to hear Kamala say that she was against what has just happened now. She was against them going in and finishing the job in Rafah. She's horrible. She says, I've studied the maps. You're going to hear her say that, how wrong she was, and how you don't listen to anything she says because she's got her head so far up her rump. She wouldn't know how to get herself out of a paper bag if it meant protecting protecting this country, let alone Israel. She'd rather let the Jews die and let the terrorists take over. That's who she is. That's who Joe Biden is. And they were wrong, and Israel has flipped in the bird time and time again, and it has been wildly successful. All the latest, and I'm going to ask you, should Israel declare victory and ceasefire, as Joe and Kamala are still demanding now at the chance of getting their weapons cut off and their aid cut off, or should he keep going and kill them all? That is next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. And how important do you think this death of the mastermind and the head of Hamas, the mastermind of October 7th and the head of Hamas for being killed today is, in your opinion? That's next on the Chris Crock Show. You can chime in now. Lines wide open. 800-288 WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227.
Yahya Sinwar, the terrorist chief of Hamas, launched the October 7th massacre against Israel. It was the bloodiest attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. It was the worst attack on the Jewish state since the founding of Israel. Sinwar's terrorists murdered in cold blood 1,200 people. That's elderly people, Holocaust survivors, children. They brutally raped women. They beheaded men. They burnt babies alive. And they took some 251 women, men, and children hostage to the dungeons of Gaza. Today, the mastermind of this day of sheer evil is no more. Yahya Sinwar is dead. He was killed in Rafah by the brave soldiers of the Israeli Defense Forces. While this is not the end of the war in Gaza, it's the beginning of the end. To the people of Gaza, I have a simple message. This war can end tomorrow. It can end if Hamas lays down its arms and returns our hostages. Hamas is holding 101 hostages in Gaza who are citizens of 23 countries, citizens of Israel, but citizens of many other countries. Israel is committed to doing everything in our power to bring all of them home. And Israel will guarantee the safety of all those who return our hostages. But to those who would harm our hostages, I have another message. Israel will hunt you down and bring you to justice. I also have a message of hope to the peoples of the region. The axis of terror that was built by Iran is collapsing before our eyes. Nasrallah is gone. His deputy Muhsin is gone. Haniyeh is gone. Def is gone. Sinwar is gone. The reign of terror that the Iranian regime has imposed on its own people and on the peoples of Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen, this too will come to an end. All those who seek a future of prosperity and peace in the Middle East should unite to build a better future. Together, we can push back the forces of darkness and create a future of light and hope for all of us.
Goosebumps. He is being called Churchillian, and he has taken his cojones and put them on the table and showed them to the world, and he is crushing the Jew haters, the anti-Zionists, and he's killing and destroying them. His numbers have shot up. He was on the chopping block politically. He is now shot up to the top. This man is it. And tonight they're dancing in the streets with the celebration of Yahya Sinwar being killed by Israeli soldiers. This is on the streets, lined with cars, celebrating and dancing. This is filmed from about 4, 5, 6 stories up in the air, going around all these cars, people jumping around and dancing, celebrating the death of this sick terrorist Jew hater. And then I'm going to go to some audio of the military going in and confirming his death and showing his body to the world. They cut one of his fingers off for biological identification, and it did indeed match. And they're displaying his body now to the world. I'm going to jump around a little in this. The IDF. And And then you can go ahead and see, if you look in this Twitter feed, his head has a freaking gash in it the size of about a fist, a gash deep in it. His body is lifeless and frozen. His last life was shown on a drone feed, which I can, it's on my Twitter feed, at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show from earlier today. You can see the picture of his lifeless body with his finger chopped off for identification purposes and DNA, which confirmed his death. And you can see his face. It is the best picture I've seen in a long time. And lastly, let's go to Kamala Harris saying that going into Rafah, which is what they did to kill and crush freaking Hamas. Most of them, there's still about 11,000 are killed. 33,000 they may have killed about a third of their brigade and their warriors. Here, and they need to finish the job, and they're going to go in and crush the Iranian regime next. And Biden is trying to put the genital cuffs on them. They're flipping the bird. Here's Kamala. Listen to this failure.
We have been clear in multiple conversations and in every way that any major military operation in Rafah would be a huge mistake. Let me tell you something. I have studied the maps. There's nowhere for those folks to go. And we're looking at about 1.5 million people in Rafah who are there because they were told to go there, most of them. And so we've been very clear that it would be a mistake to move into Rafah with any type of military operation.
A mistake, but would there be consequences if he does move forward?
Well, we're going to take it one step at a time, but we've been very clear in terms of our perspective on whether or not that should happen.
Let me finish this last part.
Are you ruling out that there would be consequences from the United States?
I am ruling out nothing.
What a bold leader. She is so wrong. This woman's an idiot. Guess what? They disobeyed her. If they listen to her, as Tom Cotton said tonight, Senator, Yahya Sinwar would be alive. This woman's an idiot. She doesn't know. She knows nothing regarding international matters. Pete in Dallas, WBAP.
Hey, thanks, Omar, or Chris, rather.
You can call me Omar if you want. Go ahead.
God bless Bibi Netanyahu and the IDF and the Mossad.
Yes.
For doing what the United States didn't have the guts to do. And, you know, more importantly, I think Prime Minister Netanyahu is a student of history, and he very clearly understands that the policy of appeasement with thugs doesn't work. And he's dedicated to protecting his people from a position of strength. And when your enemies tell you they're coming to kill you, you take them at their word. And if you have any sense, you take them out before they take you out.
So one last word. Should Israel declare victory and ceasefire as Biden and Kamala want, or keep fighting?
No. They need to finish the job.
Amen.
That would be the mistake.
Amen.
That happened. Just like in World War II when Patton wanted them to go all the way to Moscow and they stopped. And we ended up with the Soviet Union. Right?
Great call. I got to roll, but you're a great caller. Keep it up, Pete. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I'm going to tell you more in a great editorial from the Wall Street Journal, what they're saying tonight. And Biden tries to take credit for it as he's been telling them don't do it. We're going to get into that. My question is for you at 800-288-WBAP. Should Israel declare victory or keep fighting? And how important do you think his death is? This the head of Hamas, who was the mastermind of this attack. Next on the Chris Crock Show at 10:33 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288 WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. In a moment, we're going to get into. Did you hear about the lip syncing thing today? That they had a lip sync reader, an expert lip sync reader who saw what Joe Biden told Obama and what Obama said to Joe. Oh, this is great! It's on my Twitter feed. Oh, you would have known this about 12 hours ago or 10 hours ago. I was all over it on Twitter at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, CHRISKROK. Also on Facebook and on Instagram. We'll get to that in 1 minute. What Joe Biden said and what Obama said, hint, it's bad news for Kamala. Oh, she's going nuts. She's collapsing, and everything around her is collapsing little by little. A slow implosion. Oh, it's just like Joe Biden's campaign. I told you what was happening. It's the Hindenburg. It's a slow Hindenburg. Ah, the humanity. Ah, oh, my gosh. Ah. And I was telling you, you're watching it go down for months. And I said this before it collapsed officially with Biden. And he was overthrown by his own party and reinstalled. But I said it was the Hindenburg, and right now it's in that stage where, yes, there's flames, but there's that frame of the Hindenburg. There's no more skin on it. It's slowly coming down, and that's where he was. And then, sure enough, I was right. Within a few weeks or several weeks, the Hindenburg officially collapsed. And then he said, "Oh, the humanity! Ah!" She is now the new Hindenburg. She's the Hindenburg part. Now, before I get to that, though, Yahya Sinwar, the head of Hamas, here's what happened. Nearly every leader in Hamas has been assassinated, executed, killed in war because Israel refused to listen to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. She said she studied the maps. There's no way they can go into Rafah again or go into Rafah without killing all these Palestinians. They have nowhere to go. And this woman studied the maps, and that's why she's incompetent. She can't. She studied the maps and said there's no way to do it. Israel said, "Hold my beer," and they did it. And they have killed everyone in the top leadership. The most grand thing they ever did, grander than killing Yahya Sinwar, was killing the head of Hamas in Israel. The day he was attended the ceremony, the swearing in of the new president of Iran. He smiled, took pictures with him, shook his hand, congratulations, and went back to the Iranian compound in Tehran. This is Iran's government, its high-value guests, its top guests, including the billionaire who was in charge of Hamas, who ran it not from Gaza. He never was in there. He ran it from Qatar in five-star luxury in a Qatari five-star luxurious hotel. And his son's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. He was going in. He took the pictures with a politician, went back to the hotel room, and little did he know, several months earlier, Israel had planted a bomb in his room. That's not his only room. Guests stay there all the time. They waited for him, and they killed that son of a bleep. They blew him up. You know, they blew up so young. It's so tragic. Oh, it's so terrible. Yeah, they blow up so young, don't they? Oh. So now Yahya Sinwar, when Israel killed all the top leadership of Hamas, all the lieutenants, there's still more that come up like cockroaches, and that's why they got to stay and finish the job. They've killed about 11,000, according to the Wall Street Journal's reports that I read yesterday, about 11,000 or so, about a third of all the Hamas fighters, which is really remarkable, but they need to finish the job. They need to keep staying there, occupying and killing everyone that pops up like a whack-a-mole until the only things left is Jew haters that are 12 and 11. That are trying to kill them. But actually, they're pretty much all Jew haters in Palestine. I told you that Reuters reported it was a survey done in Palestine after September 10th when the slaughter of the Jews happened. I'm sorry, October 7th. And 72% of Palestinians love the Hamas. They love the rapes and the murders on October 7th. 72%, three-fourths of them literally say, kill the Jews, we're happy, rape them. We love that they're being sexually tortured, according to the UN, while in captivity, men and women. We think it's great. They're animals, kill them all. That's who's in that community, and that's why not one of them should ever come here. And one that did, as a congressperson, supports Jew-killing and Jew-hating Hamas from Dearborn. Anyway, to getting back to this. So this guy, what happened was Yahya Sinwar was the guy who orchestrated and planned out, was a mastermind for October 7th. He even went to Iran and asked for the funding and said, yes, we'll train you and fund you. He planned it about 2-3 years ago, before it happened, actually, so 2 to 3 years prior to it happening. And then he worked hard with Iran's IRCG, Iranian Revolutionary Guard, to do the attack, and he did it. And so he ended up taking over once the top Hamas echelon was killed. He replaced him. He was running it, and he made a serious shift. There's a huge piece in the Journal about how Yahya Sinwar took him even more radical. They said that we're going to do more suicide bombings and everything. So he took over, and he was literally hiding out in a building that was being attacked by the IDF, where Kamala says don't go. You should leave. Ceasefire now. She wanted to let the Hamas live and kill more Jews, to live to kill another day and do another attack. That's who she is, and that's who Joe is. They flipped a bird, and they happen to be doing operations in Gaza, and there was somebody up in these buildings. They were fighting Hamas fighters. They sent a drone up to what looked like the 4th, 5th, or 6th floor. It went in, and there's a man who's missing part of his right arm with a tourniquet over it that he tried to put on. His left arm is holding a stick, and he is waving the stick at the drone and throwing stones at it. They identified that there's a target in there. They kill him, and they go up there and they go, holy crap, we got him. And I'll just tell you what they found with it. My questions for you is, even now, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are demanding a ceasefire. Oh, you did it. Great job. And Israel says, you guys have led us wrong on everything. We would have lost everything if we listened to you. They're continuing to ignore them, and Joe and Kamala are threatening their aid and the money to help them. Some of the items found on the body of Yahya Sinwar include AK-47, a vest with several grenades, Mentos, refreshingly good, cash, and multiple passports, IDs, with one IDs belonging to an UNRWA teacher. UNRWA is the UN relief organization. One of his bodyguards worked with UNRWA. The UN is terrorist. They kill Jews and they hate Jews, and many of them are in Hamas that are in UNRWA. They're all a bunch of terrorist lovers and Jew haters, all of them. That's why the UN is against Israel. Anyway, that's what we got. So should Israel declare victory, or as Joe Biden wants, and ceasefire as Joe and Kamala want, or should they keep fighting, finishing off Hezbollah to the north? They've killed literally every single one of their leaders of Hezbollah. And then when the new leader came up, they killed him. And then they killed almost every member of the Shura Council, which is who picks the head of Hezbollah. So Hamas is removed from the top at the snake, and all of the lieutenants. More will come up. They need to stay. And as far as Hezbollah, they need to finish. They are doing a wonderful job. Those unbelievable acts with blowing up all their pagers, all their walkie-talkies. So they need to finish the job. And now they're going to turn and attack Iran. And Joe Biden's demanding that they don't attack Iran's nuclear program. He wants them to get nukes to kill Jews with nuclear weapons, which they will do. So Iran hopefully will not listen to them, and will take out their nuclear refineries, will take out their oil refineries, will take out their top leaders and take out their IRCG, and let the people overthrow them so they can be free, because 80% of those people love freedom, love America, and love Israel, and do not want to hate Jews and kill Jews. They want to live in freedom and not be oppressed by the radical Islamists that Kamala and Joe love and fund. And I think his death today, Yahya Sinwar's death, is extremely important, because it shows Israel is crushing every terrorist that dare harm them, and he is now on a battle to kill all of the leadership and to stop them as a threat. And he needs to finish off Iran, because he is doing so well and he's on such a roll. And if Kamala wins, he will be destroyed, and she will cut him off so much more than ever before. This woman doesn't know what she's talking about, and she will let Israel fail. And she will threaten them and mistreat them and abuse them. And she will support terrorists. She is more mad, like Joe Biden is, they're more mad at Israel than they are Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran. It's disgusting. And it's not good. It's evil, if anything. All right. Joe Biden is telling Obama something at the Ethel Kennedy funeral. Did you hear what happened? Did you hear about the translator, we call it the lip readers, who are experts that are so good at lip reading, they are used for criminal trials. That's how good this guy is, and he tells you what they said. I will tell you what he says, and we'll see if you think that's true. Coming up next on the Chris Crock Show, hint, Biden tells Obama something bad about Kamala and her candidacy and her chances, and Obama agrees. All that is next on the Chris Crock Show at 10:46. Coming up next at 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. On News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. I love this one. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Okay, this is awesome. I love this one. Biden tells Obama, she's not as strong as me, about Kamala. He says to, this is at the Ethel Kennedy funeral, and Biden is clearly whispering or speaking to Obama, and Obama speaks to him, and you can see the conversation. And what's really cool is this expert lip reader who is used as a actual reliable criminal witness in trials. He's a Great Britain-based guy. The British police and government use him. So that's how good this guy is, and that's how regarded and revered this man is. And he says that, and this is on my Twitter feed, you should follow me and you'll see it, at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, ChrisKrok. And he whispers whispers to him, and Biden talks back. The cameras zoom in on him, and you can see Biden griping to Obama, quote, she, as in Kamala, she is not as strong as me. Obama agrees and then says that's true, in what the New York Post is reporting today, calling it a stunning off-mic conversation deciphered by the Post, for the New York Post, by a professional lip reader. Now, I got to tell you, this might be different from the one the Daily Mail used. No, he is also the same one the Daily Mail used. Okay, they used him for the New York Post, and the Daily Mail separately used him. They're not owned by the same corporate parent. So Murdoch, I don't think he owns the Daily Mail as well. He might, but I know Murdoch owns the New York Post, I believe. Okay, so what they do is they on my Twitter feed, you'll see it. You'll see the video of them talking, and the script as they say it is typed below, so you can see it and go, wow, and you keep watching, you're like, yep, they're saying that. It's really obvious. So she's not as strong as me, said Biden, according to the translation. It was produced by analyzing the on-video lip movements during the discussion. I know that's true, said Biden. Said Obama. We have time, is what he added. Biden says, yeah, we'll get it in time. Biden was forced to step out, as you know, and then now this is going on. Moments earlier, Obama said it's important we have some time together, in a possible reference to campaigning alongside Harris. And this is from Jeremy Freeman, a London-based forensic lip reader who was born deaf and for 16 years has served as the University College of London certified expert witness for litigants, for the police and for journalists. So that's how serious this guy is. This is not a BS story. So he described the conversation as very supportive. He detected no tension between Obama and Biden. From the outset, there's been widespread concern that Harris was not a strong alternative to Biden, who clearly was a sinking ship, so much that the House members floated the idea of open convention removing Harris from the ticket along with Biden, said one Democrat source. To the Post, Democrats essentially robbed Peter to pay Paul and are now stuck with a less likable sinking ship, said the Democrat to them. Wow, huh? Biden spokesperson Andrew Bates said, a lip reading expert, did your usual right-wing soothsayer have their duty out of office up? Only President Biden and Obama know what they discussed. This certainly wasn't it. Okay, a source close to Obama did not deny what they said. Only President Obama and President Biden know what they discussed. Any other assertion otherwise is ridiculous. So they didn't deny it. There you go. So, do you believe this? Do you believe that Biden said that she's not as strong as me, and then Obama agreeing, saying that's true? Do you agree? I do. Biden has fallen apart because of his mental capacity, even though Kamala still won't admit it. And everybody knows it, and that's why he was thrown out, because he is better than she is. He is more likable than she is. He is more of a politician in a good way and more of a presenter in a good way. He's incompetent with his policies, and he is destroying our country. But she's worse, and she really doesn't know what she's doing. And she cannot handle regular media attention. And she cannot do events like the Al Smith dinner. This woman can't do public events. I'm not just making this up. It was a liberal media outlet, the Politico or Axios, that reported. Just Google it. She literally was going to go to a state dinner and had her staff reenact the whole state dinner for her and even have wine. And they sat there so she could practice how she would handle herself at a state dinner. It's crazy. It's absolutely amazing. That's how bad she is, I guess. She just can't handle regular stuff.